It's time for Inside the Patch with your Las Vegas Raiders. Here's Gnarley Charley.
Inside the Patch is back. It's ESPN 1430. And I said that wrong, so I'm going to do the whole thing again. All right. It's 1430 ESPN. I got to say that first.
Well, you're doing it Australian time, so it's 2 a.m. over there. I understand why.
That's right. It's Inside the Patch, 1430 ESPN, your Valley Sports leader. So we have one of our football analysts is from Ballarat, Australia, and he's joining us right now. You are the farthest analyst we know of American football. Wes McKnight is here.
I'm proud to say that I am the furthest rooter of the Raiders that you know of, mate.
That's
my brother from another continent. It's quite early in the day here to make this. Is that
Raider
work.
Juice? What is it? Breakfast? What time is it over there? I have no idea. It doesn't matter.
It is.
All right, here's the thing. You have the Raiders playing behind you. Is that a coincidence?
I'm just doing some analysis. I'm doing a little work on last week's game, and I'm glad to say we've turned the corner.
Yeah, we have.
I've got a way now watching the game without all the meetings. And
those are called huddles. There's huddles.
Yeah, right. Anyway,
okay.
So
the meaties. Yes, of course.
I've got a kid up the road who cuts them out for me, and I get this little clip, and I can consolidate a 6, 7, or 8 hour game, whatever it takes to get you guys to play, down to about 45 minutes.
So I know one thing. Wes is a big electrician in Ballarat. He has like 300 employees, but he's really good about cutting things down and making it more efficient. So you've managed to take football and make it efficient. You've cut down the huddles and the commercials.
And I watch this game now. I can watch an entire game in 15 minutes. It's fantastic.
Is that all it is? It's 15 minutes.
It's the only time that ball's in play. The only time ball's in play is 15 minutes. So I've saved you half a day, maybe more.
Oh, yeah, at least.
Now, I'm still happy to have the tailgating. I'm still happy to have the social aspect.
Right. Well,
but we only have to watch 15 minutes of action.
Well, I know you'll find a way to consolidate everything and make it right. So
yeah, that's it, mate.
All right, so the game is in New Orleans this week, okay?
Yes.
Now, have you ever been to New Orleans?
A city I know very well. Now, I've been there 4 or 5 times. I love the city. It's sort of a city that I think is designed for you and I. Right? So it is just, you can get a drink at 8 a.m., you can get a drink at 4 a.m., and anywhere between the two.
There's no
one thing. One of the cities you and I haven't been to in the world where I'd really like to do it with you, because I think your love of necklaces. Beads. Yeah. I think you and I, with a big bunch of beads, would do a lot of good work in Vegas. We would have a lot of fun with
good for the community.
Well, we'll share the love. We share a lot of love.
Well, it's weird. I've asked this question 5 times today. You ever been to New Orleans? Now, not one of my analysts have ever been there, but the Australian has been there 5 times. I haven't even been. I was supposed to go when the hurricane happened.
More about those guys are real analysts of football, and I just go to party towns. Maybe you might have found a problem there. But New Orleans, now I've been there. I haven't been there post the floods, so I was there straight after. I was there 12 months to the day after 9/11, and the edge had come off it a little bit. That was my last trip there, but I haven't been there since the floods, Charlie. So we ran into some people in Italy a few weeks ago who live there, and they said it's really struggling to come back. But mate, if they're playing NFL in New Orleans, I think it's somewhere where you and I should get to. I think it'd be fantastic fun.
I got to tell you, what I'm afraid of is I see like those tin pipe pans with like a chicken foot and blood and a bone. Yeah. Some voodoo thing. I'm nervous about that.
You want to be scared of that stuff, mate. I don't go anywhere near that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So honestly, when you get there, the concierge of the hotel says, only turn left when you get outside your hotel. Do not turn right. And this, stricken white boy from Australia goes, I'm not going to risk that shit. I know as well. But there is a lot of voodoo stuff down there I don't want to get mixed up into. But I love the music, Charlie. It's a great city. And
that's awesome.
I really want to understand how the Saints are going. You think we can win this weekend? What are you thinking?
Well, the coach of the Saints used to be the Raiders coach. He's the one that drafted Derek Carr 4 weeks later, he was fired. So
okay.
And so Derek Carr was talking about how that guy believed in me, wanted to drafted me.
Yeah,
he was fired 4 weeks into the season. He's like, I don't know. This is crazy. NFL's crazy. And so they're friends, but not this week. We are favored, but we are on the must-win road. We can't lose.
Yeah.
If we lose, it really is going to hurt us in the end.
It's going to make it hard to make the playoffs from here. So I watched Derek Carr get sacked a couple of times early in the game. I saw him get crowded up and beaten up. And I couldn't quite understand why his offensive defenders, if you call it.
Right. The linemen
would let him get hit. Like I don't understand why.
Here's the problem.
Their job is to stop that.
They're young, and you can't have star players everywhere. And we're asking them to do a lot. So that's part of the problem with that.
So they need people our age, you think? A bit more
exactly. A lot cheaper. Okay, I got an important question for you.
Oh, sorry, Gavin.
What will you be going as for Halloween? You guys have Halloween coming up, right?
Well, it's as we talked about on my radio show this week. We don't have a Halloween a lot, but since I'm half American, you keep pointing out. You tell everyone you ever meet.
You're half Yank, yeah.
Every interview we ever do, every radio show we do, I'm half Yank. So I have been fortunate to be given a book on Alexander Hamilton.
Oh, yeah.
A year or so ago in New York, and I saw the show in Broadway, and I really got fascinated with the story. So my daughter gave me this book.
It looks like you actually.
That's what I thought. I think I'm going to do Alexander Hamilton for Halloween. I'm going to walk up my street in country Victoria, Australia.
I like it.
And I'm going to walk up Alexander Hamilton, the hat, the whole bit, and expect strangers to give me candy. And I think if I'm not locked up, I'll be on we'll be able to record next week. Fair chance I'll be locked up. So that's my outfit this year. It was many years ago, mate. I was in Tulare in, I want to say 72, 73.
Yeah.
And my grandmother dressed me up as Bugs Bunny, and I did trick-or-treating in Tulare in 72, 73.
I think people still talk about that.
Well, I remember the sugar
Australian rabbit.
I remember the sugar rush. I just don't know why I was in a.
Well, there's two things. One is when I think of someone that can rap, I think of you. You look like just straight from the play. I mean, you look the part well, and then you can change it up a little bit because you're Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah,
you could ask. No candy. Just give me ham. All right.
I like that. I will tell you the story when I went to saw the show, and for those people watching who haven't seen it, which there wouldn't be many, because everyone's seen it now.
No spoiler alert.
Oh no! Oh well, actually, there is a little spoiler. Right?
No, I don't care.
I wish someone had told me this. I love theatre. We go to theatre all around the world. We love theatre. I go to everything show I can go to. But you and I went to Book of Mormon out here.
Yes, it's not Mormon. It's Mormon.
Right. Are you sure?
Mormon would be a different play. That's like Chippendales.
Well, I couldn't understand why you hold my hand as we're walking in to the theatre. I couldn't. Anyway, we went to the Book of Mormon here in Australia, and we do love the theatre, both you and I. And so I go to the theatre, and I'm fascinated with the story of Alexander Hamilton, and because as you say, I'm half Yank, and we get into the theatre with these most expensive tickets I've ever paid for in the theatre.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting up. We've had a great dinner, half full of red wine, great theatre because they let me have red wine at the seat, and they start hippity hoppity hoppity blah, 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 George Washington, and I look at Beck, my wife, and I go, "What did they say?" And next thing is Alexander Hamilton, and my ear, I couldn't quite get the rap,
couldn't tell what they're saying.
The rhythm, I couldn't get the rhythm, and I thought, am I really 52? Am I that old? And I struggled through the whole show. So now it's on Disney. I've watched it and slowed it down and went by piece.
Do you put the words underneath it? Do you put the words underneath it so you can read it?
Yeah, I know. Wow. I've never been to a show where it's rap. That's all. So I struggled with the straight show.
I tried to tell you this when I went to visit with you, and I went to work with you a few times. And he had a bloke named Neil that works for him. And I could understand Neil would just go, and I'd be like, I have no idea what he said. I hope I don't know if he said, get in the van, little kid. I'm going to take you away. I just said, yep. And he handed me a beer. That's all I did.
He did speak quite quickly, correct?
Very Cockney, I don't know what it is, but it was a very fast Australian.
He was a very fast Australian. But that's what I found when I went to the rap at Alexander Hamilton was what frustrated me is I didn't know. I didn't go in expecting it. I thought I was going to go watch, Pirates of Penzance or
history. Yeah.
And I could understand the lyrics, but it was hippity hoppity George Washington, and that was the only words I could get. And I struggled.
Did you buy a big gold chain and join a gang afterwards?
No. I must admit, I'm enjoying the book. I love the story, and so I thought it'd be perfect for Halloween, mate. I'll go and be a nearly 60-year-old guy asking for candy in Australia, which I won't get locked up for long. I don't think. I
did see a thing on how to ruin trick or treaters, and one of them was they had a little bag. It said trial size salad. I'm like, could you imagine how sad you'd be if they hand you like a little salad, like a trail mix salad? Like, no, thank you.
I have to share this story with your listeners. So Charlie was on my radio show here a week or so ago. We're talking about Halloween, and he said, "What you got to do if you do Halloween here, and you get the toffee apples? We call them toffee apples. You call them candy apples.
Caramel apples.
Caramel apples, right? Not caramel." Which is what it is.
Yeah, that's a whole other debate. There's a whole debate on that too.
So Carmel, as in the town in California.
Right.
And you stick a stick in the bottom of the apple and you dip it in toffee.
Caramel, and it's like a
caramel.
Caramel.
So I need to share with your listeners. So Charlie's idea was we stick it in an onion.
Just one or two, just for the bad kid.
So the kid takes away this beautiful handmade caramel apple. He's going up the street going, "Dad, look what I got. It's fantastic."
And he's going to cry. It's an onion. He's crying.
That fella, Charlie, he's so generous. He handmade these apples. He didn't sit and go and buy M&Ms and fucking
no.
And he's looking up and goes, "Oh, he's killing himself." I love that story. And you know what? I love it so much. I'm going to do it here. I am going to do
I think you should. I think you should. Hey, Wes, thank you. We got to go. I love you.
I know we didn't talk much about football. I'm sorry, mate, because there's a whole thing I want to understand, right? So we'll save this for next week, right? But
next week.
The whole handkerchief throwing thing, right? Now, if the guys with the stripy shirts have got an issue with an overloaded handkerchief,
yeah,
they don't need to throw it, right?
Yes.
There's another way of calling attention to themselves, right?
You've already reinvented how to watch football. We'll talk about this next week right here.
I want to save it, put a pin in it.
Save it.
Right?
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about that, why they're throwing their snot rags, their handkerchiefs out on the road just to show off,
There's no place for laundry in football. Right.
Exactly, mate. Hey,
thank you, Wes.
Brother. Hey, you're looking at $1 million. Have a great weekend. Go Raiders. Let's beat them in New Orleans. Hey, and I just had a conversation domestically, 1 second, about getting there in December for the Raiders home game in December in Vegas. So we're working on it, brother.
We'll figure that out.
All right, mate. Cheers, buddy. Have a good one, mate.
All right,
good on you, bud.
All right, later.
We'll be back with more Inside the Patch on 1430 ESPN, your official home of the Las Vegas Raiders.